Hello and welcome to Cricbuzz Live. I'm Gaurav Kapur, with me Parthiv Patel and Harsha Bhogle. India has lost the second game. That's right. It looked like India was about to win and West Indies would, as they say in technical terms, phelao the raita. But that has not happened and West Indies has won by how many wickets, Parthiv? Five. Sir?
Obviously, it's between you.
No, it's not, sir. It is. We've noticed that sometimes a lot of people we know, instead of five, they say five. They're in a hurry, I guess.
I've heard Payu.
Five? West Indies have won by 5 wickets. But what has happened in the match? Let's show you. 138 is what India scored after being put into bat by Nicholas Puran. And all out with 2 balls to spare. Looked like, but before West Indies started batting, it seemed like it was a total that would really be within their grasp. It looked like at 73 for 2 at the halfway mark that they were in cruise control. But then something went wrong. It started getting a little derailed and it came down to the last over. First, let's go one by one. Harsha, it should not have come down to the last over. West Indies should not have let it go that long.
No. There's no way West Indies should have taken that game to the last over. But the fact that they did is a tribute to a young man who we've all loved, who's again bowled 2 very, very good pressure overs.
17 and 19 for 4 and 6.
4, 17, 19. He's the lead bowler for your side.
True. And the 17th and 19th over have gone for 4 and 6. So which means 10 in these two really important overs.
You don't mind if someone concedes 10 in the last over, someone connects a 6. It happens, but you cannot bowl a no ball in the last over.
That's right. So a lot to unpack there towards the end. And also, Parthiv, actually, we were talking in the 17th, 18th over saying there hasn't really much has not happened in this match.
Yep.
But then suddenly in the last 4 overs, there's a lot of excitement that's happened. But let's talk about Arshdeep one by one. Let's talk about Arshdeep first. We'll come to West Indies. Let's talk to Arshdeep and how well he's done to bowl, as Harsha said, the pressure overs and to perform in that pressure in the end.
Yeah, that's something he's been doing it for Punjab Kings. He's been bowling those tough overs. He's been bowling those difficult overs, and that is the reason why you could see that confidence in him. I think there was one instant where when Rohit came in and then he didn't have to talk much. That gesture showed that Arshdeep knew what he was going to do. I think that's something talks a lot about how mature he is and how well he has learned bowling for Punjab Kings into different conditions and difficult conditions. Here, I thought, he used the angle really well. Yeah. If you just look at that, probably the ball was not reversing while we were talking that he's going too much wide of the crease. But he used that angle really well when he got that Powell's wicket. It looked like it swung in, but it didn't. It was just that angle he used. Yeah. And he was bowling those slow ones really well. So, obviously, he's in control. He knows what he needs to do. And on top of everything, someone who can execute those balls under pressure. I think, to me, that's the biggest takeaway.
Yeah, and I think, today, of course, he bowled these overs and he bowled those 2 overs. And he's done another thing. He, basically, when the kids didn't arrive, he gave his T-shirts to everybody. I think there was like 4 or 5 Arshdeeps on the field today, right?
The Arshdeep who wore the Arshdeep shirt bowled better than the Arshdeep who didn't bowl. Who bowled the Avesh who bowled the Arshdeep shirt.
Yeah, that's right. Because he bowled the...
So Arshdeep who bowled the Arshdeep shirt did well. All those who wore Arshdeep shirts didn't do it.
That's right. Oh. He kept the one shirt which had the form for himself. The decision to bowl Avesh in the 20th, because a lot of people will be thinking, hang on, Bhuvi's only bowled 2 overs. We were thinking 100% Bhuvi will bowl the last over. It's the better choice. Not commenting on their merit. It's just in terms of pressure and experience. Bhuvi is your choice. Why does Rohit go with Avesh?
I think it's just trying to see how youngsters coping with the pressure, and there's nothing.
So audition, you'd
audition,
say, like
more audition, and that's what you do. These are the games for it. Obviously, you want India to win games, but these are the games give you that chance of understanding how well the newcomers are coping with pressure. Arshdeep did get full marks, but Avesh, obviously that no ball cost him a lot of things. But yeah, as a youngster, he'll definitely learn from this. You can't go anything wrong than this. First no ball. He'll understand. He'll probably young. He has played a lot of cricket. He's done really well in IPL for 2 years. He's definitely earned himself a place into 11. Yes, this pressure situations can go anywhere, but more than highly critical. I think he got a good lesson to learn from this game.
Yeah, because there was 10 to win, and obviously Arshdeep's 2 overs had got the match so close, and anything can happen in the last over. But a no ball and then obviously a free hit.
In the modern game, on a track that's still decent, the odd ball stop, but still a decent track, 10 is a hard call to defend for a bowler, come what may. So Avesh doesn't have the easiest job in the world, but that first ball, I mean, it was a single otherwise. So it's down to 9 or 5. He concedes just one more single, next ball, it's 8 or 4. Now it's starting to get difficult. But when you concede the no ball, it just deflates everybody.
Yeah.
Because you've taken away the onus of scoring runs from them. You've handed it to them. So he'll be very, very disappointed with that no ball because it's the kind of thing that's in your control.
Yeah.
You bowl a decent ball, batsman hits it for 6, there's nothing you can do. Batsman just had a good day, is 1 over.
Fair point.
But the moment you bowl a no ball, it means you've conceded what was in your control.
If I see the flip side, is this now the team giving a signal that, all right, Bhuvi is one of our main guys, so we just need to bowl him 2 overs in the beginning and he is going to be one of our...
I hope not, because Bhuvi said again and again that the more I bowl, the more rhythm I'm in.
Yeah.
If just by the same token, if Bhuvi's got to be bowling the death overs in a big game, the more death overs he bowls now, the better off he is. But Parthiv is right in that they're auditioning both Avesh and Arshdeep. Arshdeep was given 17, 19 and Avesh was given 20.
Yeah, 16 and 20, yeah.
16 and 20. It's a tough call because I think Hardik came in and bowled 18 in between.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that was the objective.
Are they looking at this then that they have one death bowler obviously in Bumrah, right?
Yep.
He's going to bowl at the death. Let's see if we can audition these guys, and we're looking at Bhuvi as maybe 3 up front.
Yeah, absolutely. I think and that's where
Maybe
Bhuvi
one
bowls.
in the middle.
Yeah, that's where Bhuvi bowls really well. If it's swinging, I don't think there's any other better
Which
bowler
there is a chance of happening in Australia. Obviously, I mean, the wickets have
which
changed
will,
a lot, but you can get
Could
some.
be, but in Australia, it doesn't swing very
that
much.
much.
Yeah.
In Australia.
Yeah. So, but you still bowl him up front?
Yeah, without a doubt, he'll bowl 2 overs for sure. There is no doubt about it. If Bhuvi is playing, he has to bowl 2 overs up front. Then there is Bumrah. Then there is Arshdeep. I'm still surprised that India's why not considering Mohammad Shami as their new ball bowler, especially on the conditions.
He seems to be out of T20 plans. It's very evident.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Harshal has done well, but the way if you look at Dinesh Karthik's performance in IPL, he got picked for India, and Mohammad Shami's performance in IPL has been even better as well as a bowler. He's won them a trophy. And he was maybe instrumental in getting those wickets initially for Gujarat Titans, and hence they won the trophy as well. So probably he may not be a bad choice there. I know then will be exact same team of 2000 the previous World Cup, but then these guys have become better. Bhuvi has become better. What Bhuvi was in last World Cup, and then now how he's bowling. Same with Mohammad Shami. Mohammad Shami is bowling well with new ball. There we were talking about Mohammad Shami doesn't bowl that well in death overs, but he has improved that for when he was playing for Punjab and even now when he has done for Gujarat. So maybe there's a case just to think about it.
That's what's confusing me, right? I mean, people may think that it's only 1 over and you've given it to Avesh. What's the big deal? Why are you getting yourself in a twist about it?
Yeah.
But I'm struggling to make sense of like what's going on.
My gut feel at the moment is that there's now a pecking order in the top 5. That you've identified pretty closely the top 5 quick bowlers, whether they take 4 with Hardik bowling or they take 5. But I think they'll take 4 with Hardik in the side because you only have 15. But it's Bumrah, Bhuvi, Shami, Harshal and Arshdeep. I think Arshdeep has now broken into that list as your top 5, of whom 4 will go.
But I mean, Shami's not being considered for T20, right? So does that mean then the 4 are pretty much decided then?
He'll play the Asia Cup.
Yeah, you think? Should? He should be.
He should. He should.
He should.
Yeah, he should.
But I don't. When is the last time he played a T20I?
Probably last World Cup or something.
Yeah, I don't think he's played after the World Cup.
Yeah. But then obviously Dinesh Karthik, when did he play last?
Yeah.
He played a couple of years back, or maybe 2019 World Cup last he must have played. And then he got into the side now because of IPL performance. So you can pick a Mohammad Shami also because of his
No, I'm a fan of his. I'm saying pick him. I don't pick them, right?
Yeah.
So that's why.
Yeah. It depends on whether there's a feeling, I think, that Shami is much better bowling at the top.
Yeah.
And therefore, you want someone to bowl through the middle and the back. So it might be a straight shootout in Bhuvi and Shami to bowl at the top. But only one of the two plays, not both. I don't know.
There's also an old India favourite, Deepak Chahar, who's now going to be coming back into the game after about 4 or 5 months.
Yeah, more than that.
He's going to come to Zimbabwe. But I guess now everybody else is just kind of injury, right? What do you do?
But I think, see, obviously, Bhuvneshwar Kumar has, it was a straight shootout between Bhuvneshwar Kumar or Deepak Chahar. They're almost identical bowlers.
Well, same business model.
Same business model. And you would want to go with a bit of experience. And when Bhuvneshwar Kumar is bowling well, especially with Deepak Chahar not playing cricket for a long time. So I think it would be too close for him to, get into it. But in that order, I'm sure Bhuvneshwar Kumar is ahead of him.
Around this time last year, Bhuvi was bowling 129, 130. When Bhuvi is bowling 129, 130, Chahar becomes a far more attractive option because he was bowling a little quicker, still getting that lovely movement away and giving you a very powerful batting option. I don't know if Bhuvi has taken away that spot or Harshal has taken away that spot because Harshal gives you batting at 8. But if Bhuvi is bowling 133, 134, nudging 135, becomes a very different bowler than when he's bowling 129. But my issue with Deepak Chahar is I don't know if he'll have enough bowling in his legs. Before the World Cup comes around, whether he's got time to get that rhythm again.
Thoda mileage, the wheels have to be turning. All right, you may be thinking that there's only one team that played today. No, there were two. And let's talk about the team that won. We're talking about West Indies, of course, and we'll talk about what went good for them. And we already spoke about what didn't go good for them, which was the fact that they shouldn't have let it go till as late as they did. But the success story for them, of course, is the player that they drafted into the 11 today, King. King really played like a king today. He did. He ruled the batting for West Indies, didn't he, Parthiv?
He did. I think that's something which you always wanted in low-scoring games. You want your openers to do really well, and this is something which we were talking about. Once you get that 70, and when you're chasing small totals, you need to be not out 80, 85. So that this is not the easiest wicket to bat on, but you got to give credit to someone who was not part of the 11. He was playing fearlessly. He was the way he played Ashwin, the way he was trying to play fast bowlers. He changed gear. He played attackingly in first 6 overs, and as soon as the first 6 overs got over, he started rotating the strike and stuff. So I think you got to give credit to Brandon King, but he would be disappointed that he didn't finish. He got out at the wrong time. If he was playing till last, and so then West Indies could have finished the game in 18th over.
See, also this is the advantage of playing a 140 game. He scored at 131. He started off well though, but he's finished at 131. Now, normally if you're playing a 180 game, he could not have played this kind of innings.
Correct.
But they're only chasing 140, and he's contributed almost half the runs at a fast strike rate. He's done fine.
He actually, today it's been his story actually. He's the one who's not just held
the batting story,
Yeah, it's actually been him. I mean, if you look down that batting card, you see just a little more. I mean, the others will look at that and go, we could have closed this game out a lot earlier. You see Devon Thomas in the end, and obviously Devon Thomas got, the 6 of the free hit as well. But if you're still looking, there's not much support that has come in the top order for him, Parthiv.
Yeah, absolutely. I think quite surprised the shot which Nicholas Pooran played. I think he's been around for years, and that Ashwin has been got into the side because he wanted to get left-handed. When every time a left-hand batsman comes in, you see Ashwin, and Ashwin bowls really well against left-hander.
Yeah,
that's when you need to become smarter. When you're chasing 140, you need to pick your bowlers whom you can hit and whom you can't. And Ashwin is not that easiest bowler to someone who will give you those 6s and 4s. So probably that's where he could have just take away singles against off spinner and take on the left arm spinner. So I think that was probably irresponsible shot there from Nicholas Pooran.
Ashwin, when he's on song, right, he can really make some very good left-handed batters look very amateur.
And you see the ball immediately after when Hetmeyer came on to play the first ball, and it went past him again. But he'll still look back, Ashwin, that I was part of a 140 chase and I went an 8 and over. There's a 160 chase. I went 8 and over, so I went over what was required for a wicket. So he'll look back at that 4 overs, 1 for 32, 7 dot balls out of 24, and he'll say, maybe I didn't have the best day. He tends to push them through. But obviously he's got his thinking. He's a very smart cricketer. But he'll look at that 1 for 32 and say, maybe I conceded 4-5 runs. Those 2 6s that went off him would have hurt him.
The one guy who'll look at his bowling analysis and say, I did very well today, Parthiv, is Hardik. Even though he gave 10, I think in his last over he gave 10.
But 11.
Otherwise,
11, I think.
11 he gave. So which means that he gave 11 in his first 3. which is great. He'll be very happy with those returns. Team India will be very happy with those returns because then that gives you an option. As you can see, he had plenty of options, Rohit, to bowl those last few overs.
If your fifth or sixth bowler can give you 4 overs and give you 20 runs and get you a wicket like that, you would be, as a captain and as a team, you would be really happy that Hardik is bowling really well and then he's been doing well. There is no doubt about it. So Hardik would be happy. Indian team would be happy going into Asia Cup and World Cup because every time what we were talking that even Hardik gives you 2 overs, that gives you a proper balance to the team. Here's Hardik Pandya giving you 4 overs and giving you that batting. It's not just hitting batting. He's giving you that mature batting that because of him we probably reached a 138 because he consolidated inning through maturely. So I think that's a great signs for Indian cricket.
Look, if he's your fifth bowler, it's a 7 run and over chase. If your fifth over gives you 4 overs 28, he's actually done his job.
Yeah.
Fifth over going just par, he's done okay. But he's gone 3 overs 11 and a wicket. What I like about Hardik, and you know him better, so you can tell me, is he doesn't mind bowling the difficult overs.
Yeah.
You tell him, Hardik, you bowl in the power play, he'll give you overs in the power play, he'll come back and bowl at the death. He's happy bowling those overs, which is what a captain wants. So that is the option that he gets. I think on an ideal day like this, you probably have 1 over less from Avesh, 1 over less from Hardik, and 2 overs more from Bhuvi. If this had been a knockout game, would have had 2 overs more from Bhuvi. But 3 overs 11, 4 overs 22, you take that any day.
Yeah, in fact, that's exactly what Rohit has said. So I think that confusion has got cleared because after the game, Rohit has said that we know what Bhuvi can do. So we want to put a youngster like Avesh into a pressure situation, real world situation, IRL situation. Come on, youth brother, represent. It's in real life.
In real life.
मैंने भी अभी सीखा सर कोई बात नहीं अभी सीखा मैंने भी मैंने ऐसे थ्रो कर दिया यूथ के सामने पार्थिव बड़ा इंप्रेस हो गया कि भाई को पता है सब कुछ but actually it was a great position like we're talking Rohit will say oh wow 10 last over I can bowl Avesh you can't simulate stuff like this right
see out of say 9 times out of 10 it's very difficult to control 10 runs in last over, right?
Yeah.
But just imagine if Avesh Khan had, not given those 10 runs. Just imagine what confidence he would be in the next game. So that would have done him really well. I'm sure the captain and coach would be, telling him, yes, you bowled in a difficult situation. Yes, you bowled a no ball. That's, that can happen. But now you know that, you will have to, play over, you have to bowl all these difficult overs.
So it's great. It's great because I mean the captain is very clearly given an answer what they are trying to achieve. Of course, they're trying to win cricket games and that's very important. But some cricket games are more important than the others. Yes, obviously the World Cup being the most important. You have the Asia Cup. You're playing Australia. Not saying that these games are not important, but when it's just the second game of a 5-game series, you realize. I think they're showing it with their words, their action, their thoughts, what they're trying to achieve out of this series. Well, it wasn't to be today, so that means the series is 1-1. We love it even more because, we want them to keep being interesting.
The other thing Rohit would have noticed also is not, we saw what happened on the ground, right?
Yeah.
That India lost by 5 wickets, that Arshdeep conceded, that Avesh conceded the runs. What Rohit would have seen was, how is Avesh looking before he bowls that last over? Or how is he feeling just after he bowls that no ball? Those are also the cues that the captain is getting over there.
Yeah.
Is he cool? Is he calm? Is he saying, yeah, Mr. Galti hoga, I'll come back and try and bowl harder?
Yeah.
Or is he starting to lose it? Is he getting nervous? Those are also the cues that the captain gets over there, which also you have studied, which we cannot see watching on the screen, governed as we are by the picture that the director is cutting to. So when he says we want to try him out at the end, he's also looking at those little things. Is he calm? Is he confident? Is he setting his own field?
That's a very important thing for scouts, right? And Parthiv, you're a scout now. You don't just see how the player is batting.
He's always been a scout. He always looked like a scout.
Yeah.
That's also true. First he looked like a boy scout, now he's a player scout.
Yeah.
Bam! They sometimes are really a drum set, with me.
You just don't look at
Tane, drums lao.
Since there are no drums, I started talking.
Yeah. But you see that, right? What else do you see? Not just you're seeing a batter. It's not just the batting.
It just, we don't see the numbers. No one, I mean that's how the selection doesn't happen. Then there's no need of selectors. There's no need of anyone if you're going to pick players only by numbers. You pick players by all of these. You see quality, how involved he is in the game. Like we saw today, Hardik was involved throughout the game, how he was talking to Arshdeep. Or you see how Arshdeep's attitude was during, while he was setting up his own field, or how he was talking to captain. So all of these things you keep in mind, and obviously in a pressure situation, when you know how they are reacting to those situations, whether they want to be in that situation or not. So exactly that's something which everyone looks at.
Tell me one thing. In that close situation, when Hardik is there, Hardik was charging into all those situations. Does the captain say, yeah, he's now a senior player in the side, he wants to be there? Or will the captain tell him, Hardik, rehne de, main sambhal raha hu?
If it goes overboard, then sometimes captains do say it, but I'm sure every player understands it. Hardik now have captained the side, so he also understands it, how where to cross the line,
how far to
Hey, it's a winning side that he's captained, he's lifted a trophy. So he may, and Rohit may say, hey, main 5 jeeta, chal. But yeah,
that also depends on the relationship between them too.
Absolutely. And I think, from whatever we've seen and whatever you've told us about Rohit as well, Parthiv, and we've always seen it, right? We've always seen that last में जब होता है, it's never just the captain and bowler. 2-3 senior players involved होते ही हैं.
बिल्कुल होना ही पड़ता है ना, क्योंकि those are the situations where you need support. It's we're playing a game of that's why we call it a team game. It's not individuals game. So that's when you need support. That's when you need someone's experience. And as a captain, sometimes you have a bit of doubt. So that's where you need some kind of validation from your senior player, that whatever I'm thinking.
Who's also a bowler.
Who's also a bowler. Who's also captain the side. So sometimes you do need a bit of support, where in your decision making you are 50-50, whether to go this side or that side, and then someone comes and just tells you the same thing, then you suddenly take that decision.
Nice, interesting. All right, well, it's 1-1 now. There's 5 games that are happening. Today's game, in case you've just kind of tuned in from some part of the world and saying, ये लोग इतनी रात को बैठ के क्यों बात कर रहे हैं? That's because the game started 3 hours late. That's right, 3 hours late today because the luggage hadn't arrived. अब कल तो I think time पे हो जाना चाहिए. आज हमारे लिए आज, उनके लिए कल.
No, but it depends. कल भी सारे अर्शदीप का शर्ट पहन के खेलेंगे, उनके आगे होंगे अपने.
I don't know sir, नहीं आए तो फिर अर्शदीप भी कह रहा होगा कि यार तुमने पहनी तो तुम धो. अगर सब उसको दे दी तो जूनियर है कि यू वॉश ऑल 4 टी-शर्ट्स नाउ एंड गिव अस टुमारो, तो गलत बात है, ऐसा मत करना, ठीक है सूर्या? इफ यू आर लिसनिंग, वॉश द शर्ट. किसी की शर्ट यूज करो तो वॉश करके देते हैं, गुड एटिकेट. बट या, सो वी आर गोना हैव अनदर गेम लेटर टुडे in a few hours. We're going to be back right here. That's at St. Kitts. So interesting, no? The kids didn't arrive in St. Kitts. Good thing the match was not happening in Pantnagar. Hey.
This is Pant.
Come on.
Pant nahi aata.
There you think? That was not the joke, but you got it. So yeah, that's happening today. Are we looking at any changes? We're not looking at any changes for India. Are we looking at any changes for West Indies? We still don't have Harshal Patel, of course. Harshal Patel has got an issue with his rib. So Harshal Patel is out for tomorrow's game as well. There's Kuldeep, there's Deepak Hooda, Akshar Patel, Ishan Kishan, Sanju Samson. Let's just come to the Deepak Hooda question, because that is the burning question.
In the form he doesn't want to sit out too long.
Yeah.
And it won't be right. Look, it depends, and he's been in a lot of change rooms. It depends on the conversation that they've had with Hooda and what they have told Hooda.
Yeah.
Because if the communication is very clear to him, then he is okay. But otherwise, he's sitting and thinking, yaar, mera form ja raha hai, main khel nahi raha hu, mera form ja raha hai, I'm here. So it depends on what the communication has been with him. But I think in that kind of form, you need to play him a little bit. So I won't be surprised if he plays.
But I think as far as communication is concerned, having played a lot of cricket with Rahul Bhai and having played cricket under Rohit's captaincy, I'm sure they must have told him clearly why they are not playing him and what they are trying. And like in every press conference now, like after the game or pre-game, we know what they're trying to do, and the signals are quite clear. So communication-wise, I'm sure he must have been conveyed why he's not playing. But obviously, as Harsha Bhai said rightly, that in this form he would have liked to be on the ground and try and gain as much confidence as possible, so that the bigger games, kind Asia Cup, World Cup, he is ready in that same frame of mind.
Okay, in terms of the spinners, Kuldeep's not got a game. Do you think Kuldeep can get a game?
I think, I don't know, it depends on what they're thinking. At this point of time, India is on an experimental thing, they're experimenting a lot of things. So it will be very difficult to predict what they're going to do. Because if there was a certain pattern, you could understand it, right? That there's this kind of pattern where India is thinking. But here it is a lot of experiments going on. So you don't know. I mean, you can't just say whether he'll play Kuldeep in place of Ashwin or in place of Avesh or whoever. I mean, to me, I think Avesh should get another game. Because he had this kind of game, you want to give youngster a bit of confidence and give him another game.
Yeah, I think he will, because I don't think there's anybody else, if they're playing the same, unless they play 3 spinners.
Yeah, even if there was someone else, I would have given Avesh another game and then give confidence.
I think that's going to happen anyway, because there's only Harsha Patel and he's unavailable for tomorrow's game. So it looks like the quicks are probably going to be, the quicks are definitely going to be the same. I guess the only option would be and who can you play instead of, you can only play Kuldeep in place of Ashwin, because you can't play him in place of Jadeja.
No. And also with Jadeja, I think the reason they want to keep him playing, because you have Akshar in the side too, and Akshar just won you a game.
Yep.
But they'll want to keep Jadeja because they want to get as much bowling out of him as possible. And the more he bowls, can he become a 4 overs bowler? At this stage, it doesn't look like that.
Yeah.
But the more he bowls, the more he'll be there. So I think they want to give Jadeja as much bowling as possible, throw him into as many situations as possible. So I see Jadeja playing, definitely, because I think he's a big part of that team in Australia. So Jadeja will definitely play. I wonder if they say, okay, we've looked at Ashwin now 2 games. To use Rohit's language, we know what he can do.
Yeah.
So do they go with Kuldeep, even though it means that then just anybody bats at 8? So Bhuvi can bat at 8.
Bhuvi can bat at 8.
Yeah.
And they go with Kuldeep, or it could well be that look, Kuldeep's hardly got any cricket behind him. So maybe they just want him to bowl in practice nets for a while and give him the last 2 gaams, because then he's got 3 more days of nets, provided everyone gets visas.
Yeah.
Because the story of this tour is not over yet.
Yeah. Picture abhi baki hai mere dost.
Because I read somewhere that they've got to go to Georgetown, Guyana to complete their travel formalities and then go. So it could well be that they don't go to the US.
Yeah, that's just ridiculous.
I have a strong point of view on that. If you cannot guarantee visas, you shouldn't be playing there.
Yeah, true. And that is true.
I'm a big fan of promoting cricket in the US. I've been talking about it for the last 8 or 10 years. But if getting visas is going to be a problem, that's one less headache for every organizer.
Correct. It's also not like it's a secret that has been sprung. I think it's been a while, and I don't think that the admin or logistics team would have not filed the paperwork in time. I think they would have done
it. And also, you don't have to go out of turn. For the US to grant visas for a cricket team is like in India saying, can you grant out of turn visas for an oceanography expedition?
Yeah.
It's not very relevant for them to go out of the way to give a cricket team visas.
Yeah.
So if it's happening, it's happening. Otherwise, my gut feel is they'll maybe go back to Trinidad. I don't know, but they'll go and play in Barbados somewhere. But I wouldn't be surprised if they play the last 2 games there. But I hope they take a call very early.
Yeah, and I hope they take all their kit as hand baggage. Right?
Some case. When you have a lot of connecting flights, you always keep one set in your handbag, right?
You have to.
Yeah.
In this case, I think only Arshdeep kept his t-shirts. Nobody else kept their t-shirts in their
his back came.
Yeah, so his has reached. All right, for the West Indies team, any changes that we see? Let's pull their squad up and see if they were to do any. Let's, who do we have?
Shepherd for Smith, maybe. I don't know what the fitness issues are.
Yeah.
Shepherd for Smith, maybe.
Maybe. That's the only change.
With Smith?
Odean Smith.
There's only one Smith, yeah.
There's only
one Smith. There's another...
Yeah, so that's...
You won't find. There's only one.
Yeah.
Only one.
There is no other Thomas.
That's what I was thinking, yeah. There's only one Smith and
I was
one
very
Thomas.
impressed. We hardly talked about Devon Thomas.
Yeah.
There he comes in at number 5. I'm telling you, I think Ashwin, what somebody told me, you must always have a West Indies player in your 11 because they just look at situations differently.
Yeah.
And there he goes, 31 of 19 in the middle order. You're looking at Pooran, you're looking at Hetma, you're looking at Robman Powell, you're looking at Odean Smith, and who's played the big innings? It's
the guy
Devon
who just
Thomas.
came in, yeah. So, any changes that you see in this team?
I don't see any changes unless Odean Smith. They seem to trust Odean Smith quite a bit. So, probably maybe if Romario Shepherd is fit, I would play him ahead of Odean Smith for sure.
I think the opposition batters also trust Odean Smith a lot. Don't they?
We just get an entertainment.
Cruelty at 3 in the morning.
Why not? The fact is that we spoke about this. We spoke about this in the mid-game show as well. You know that he's going to give you 3 deliveries that he will completely disregard the field, disregard what is the correct line and length, and do that. And I guess, sometimes as a fan of cricket, that can get frustrating because you know what a person can do, right? And then you're seeing them just have, rapid kind of almost brain fade. But yeah, well, that's what it is. I guess that's evolution. You live, you learn. If you don't learn, then you're extinct. All right. Most people get extinct after they see the joy factor question. But today, I think more people have thrived. Because this question, even Parthiv Patel knew the answer to. The way I'm saying it, even
Parthiv Patel.
Because how many? हम कितने आते हैं इनके? सच बात बताओ.
You can't take this line.
No, because I have to take एक आध दो ही आते हैं ऐसे.
But he said even Parthiv.
Yeah, because sir, this is
You
the
asked me a
truth.
domestic players question. That's why my name become PPpedia.
Yeah.
I'll give you domestic players.
I mean, we know, we see that, sir, you are intelligent, you are quiz master, you are Ivy League and all.
No.
हम लोग Joy Factor question देख के हम लोग side ही देखते रह जाते हैं.
Quiz master is the easiest job in the world because
you
the
have the
guy
answers.
who sets and the guy who answers or the person who answers all know more than you.
Yeah.
You are just postman.
Oh,
यहाँ का सवाल यहाँ पे.
nice, very good. Hashtag humble. Hashtag humble. But the fact is, we never know the answer, Parthiv and me. But I think Parthiv today knows. Let's have a look at the question and see if Parthiv can give the correct answer. In which international cricket tournament was Amey Khuresiya?
He's more likely to know Amey Khuresiya's second innings batting average in Ranji Trophy in 98.
No, actually. Top run scorer and Rahul Sanghvi is India's top wicket taker. बताइए sir.
I think that was probably Commonwealth Games. I think most relevant time.
Commonwealth Games. Kuala Lumpur.
Kuala Lumpur, yeah. I think that's where one team went to what?
Canada.
and
And one went to Malaysia. Ajay Jadeja captained the
Either.
KL team, right?
Yeah.
Commonwealth.
Commonwealth game, yeah.
And Commonwealth game चल रहा है अभी.
चल रहा है.
वो हमेशा joy
context
हमेशा.
होता है.
Yeah, context होता है. हम
There's a
आपकी
pattern.
game समझ गए हैं sir.
See, the clue was Amey Khuresiya. He was also
Hey!
he was also in the 99 World Cup team.
Yeah, he was.
Amey Khuresiya. So he was playing around that time. So
Sir, but first आप जरा phone side पे रखिए ना. Young Parthiv Patel go. Well done. ये कोई ऐसी ताली नहीं है, 3 बजे की ताली है.
3 बजे की 3 तालियां.
ज़्यादा प्यार है इसमें, ज़्यादा प्यार है. Let's see who got the correct answer besides Parthiv. Here is our winner, Parth Narodia.
it would have been fun if Parthiv.
I was ready with my speech.
Parth and Parthiv.
I would like to thank my parents for allowing me to watch the game. 1998.
1998, considering your age, yeah, you had to have permission. Yes, you had to get permission to watch.
TV देखने दिया उस time पे.
Can you imagine parents are looking at him saying, कोई बात नहीं बच्चे को देखने दो, and 4 years later they're saying, कोई बात नहीं बच्चे को देखते हैं.
अरे वाह.
Not bad, no?
Not bad.
Not my line. His reality.
That's true. Well done. In fact, even now, when he shaves, people watch him on TV and say, "अरे बच्चे TV पे बैठा है, how nice."
That's what. इसीलिए मैं नहीं करता, कलर भी इसलिए नहीं करता कि लोग थोड़ा seriously ले मुझे.
I thought you'd colored it white purposely.
No, आती है.
अच्छा, seriously? चलिए भाई, तो इसका मतलब है कि अब हम सब बुजुर्ग हो गए हैं और बहुत लेट हो गया है और सोने का टाइम हो गया है. सोने का क्या, जागने का टाइम होने वाला है कुछ देर में. So we're going to go, but we're going to see you in a few hours because as per schedule, the match is supposed to start at 8 p.m. Indian Standard Time, which means that we'll be here at 7:30 p.m. Indian Standard Time. Unless something happens, तो एक काम करिए, जैसे आप जब फ्लाइट और ट्रेन पकड़ने जाते हैं ना, तो 2-3 घंटे पहले यू चेक द शेड्यूल. तो अब जब क्रिकबज़ पे आके चेक कर लेना, हर्षा भाई का ट्विटर चेक कर लेना, पार्थिव और मेरा ट्विटर चेक कर देख ले, हम बता देंगे, ठीक है. वी विल गिव बिफोर यू लीव फॉर द एयरपोर्ट, वी विल लेट यू नो वेदर द फ्लाइट इज ऑन टाइम और नॉट.
See, इसमें भी सेम, हर्षा भाई का ट्विटर चेक कर लेना, यूथ का इंस्टाग्राम चेक कर लेना, तो पता चल जाएगा क्या है.
करेक्ट, that's right.
Intellectuals are on
समझ
Twitter.
गया.
What about a snap?
नहीं समझ गया मैं.
Not
Snap,
intellectuals
man.
are on Twitter. अपने जैसे.
नहीं समझ गया मैं. समझ गया मैं कि हम यंग लोगों का इंस्टाग्राम देखना, उसका ट्विटर देखना, समझ गया.
Intellectuals का ट्विटर.
देखो मैं
सफेद हो गई दाढ़ी, आपको मुझे कह रहा, देखो देखो कैसे कर रही है. वेरी बैड, नॉटी.
नहीं आप नहीं जानते, जब मेरी उम्र के हो जाओगे समझ जाओगे कि जब दाढ़ी करते हैं तो यंग दिखते हैं. इसको उल्टा प्रॉब्लम ये नहीं कर रहा हूँ, इसलिए मैं कर रहा हूँ.
चलो ठीक है.
3 बजे क्या बात करते हैं.
अभी फुल मून आ गया ना, तो मेरी ऐसी दाढ़ी आ जाएगी, आप डर जाओगे सब, ठीक है. So I think it's time to go. We're going to see you in a few hours on Cricbuzz Live. A big thank you to Parthiv Patel and Harsha Bhogle for joining us. A big thank you to all of you for joining us, for staying with us. I'm Gaurav Kapur, wishing you good night, good morning, Vicky beta.